It is the time where I was turning underwear inside out over and over again.
For us to think that was going to not make us stinky girls walking around in the world.
Wait, you used to have side A, side B?
When when you're in New York for the summer and you're 21 or whatever and you're 19, yeah, you don't know how to do
Laundry in New York
stuff.
is hard. Laundry in New York is a whole
You can't
thing.
wash underwear at 19.
Okay.
Slugs, I'm so excited. Drugstore June is in theaters. We just added a new city. So March 1st, Austin, and tickets are on sale now. So you can get tickets currently at drugstorejune.com to see us February 23rd. That is when we open in New York and LA. And then Austin, and we're adding new cities all the time. So just check out our website. Thank you for buying tickets and supporting this indie. And I can't wait for you guys to have a fun in-theater experience with a bunch of comics on the screen that you recognize, including me.
Sluggies, I am on the road. I'm having so much fun. I'm getting ready for my special, so my set is tight. It's good. I'm really working on it, so I'm excited to show it to you. My next road gig is in one of my favorite places, Denver, Colorado, at the Comedy Works, February 16th and 17th. My next Annie Wood in France is February 20th at the Comedy Store. Then I'll be in Vancouver for the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival, February 21st and 22nd. I'm going to be in Fort Worth, Texas, March 1st and 2nd. And then I am extremely excited to be going to New Mexico for the first time ever since I moved out of there. I'm going to Albuquerque. I'll be there the 8th and 9th. It's going to be so wild. I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. at the end of March. And then I'll be in Jacksonville, Florida, rescheduled for the end of June. Dates are always being added, so go to annieletterman.com/shows.
Guys, what's going on in Trash Tuesday news? Tell me.
February 13th, there's a lot to talk about because we're having our second live show. And that's where we spill the tea.
And it's going to be in LA.
It's in Los Angeles.
It's going to be Valentine's Day themed
It's
adjacent.
going to be juicy.
Come with a date, come alone, come with your girlies.
Maybe you'll leave with a date.
Oh, that's a really good point. Maybe we should play Cupid.
Wait, okay, we're doing
I'm
that.
excited.
We set Khalyla up. You guys get tickets at the link below. We will see you in LA February 13th. We are so excited for this live show. These don't happen often, so get your tickets now and we'll see you there.
My family that visited from the Philippines, I don't know, one of their suitcases broke, so I sent them off
Here
back
they
to
are,
the
they're right here.
Philippines. Right there.
She captured them.
Back with my favorite Erewhon bag. And they don't know what the fuck Erewhon is. And I kept having to tell them, hey, this is a very,
You're gonna get
very,
robbed.
yeah.
This is high status.
And they're like,
Are you ready? I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
but my niece understood the value of the Trader Joe's one, but not the Erewhon one. It hasn't caught on yet over there.
Because it's too niche.
Yeah,
it's too niche. But Trader Joe's, everyone knows about America Core. And they want to make fun of us by cosplaying as us.
Do you think they're cosplaying or they actually like it? I don't
think
know.
they like it.
But there is I do find it really, I mean, obviously, I'm not the group to be offended by this, so it's not for me to speak on. But I like it when Asian people take it too far with the Cholo culture or things of like Western subcultures that they completely step into and they I don't know if you've ever seen the Cholos in Asia.
So these are the Bangkok Cholos.
So those are the Bangkok Mexican gangsters is what they're. And they learn the lingo. They say things do they say firme? But I see these guys in the Philippines too, but we just have a different term for them.
I just like these two guys because the one guy before this has my wide head problem where his sunglasses are too small for his head. And then the other guy could be wearing the same sunglasses and they're too big for his head.
It's like us.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of this concept called pacing your pleasures throughout the day? Basically, I saw this guy talking about this and it totally rang true for me. He was saying that in your 20s, it's very common that you will place all your pleasures in the first part of your day or the last part of your day. People will wake up, they'll have their coffee, they'll get high, they'll do whatever feels good. And then the rest of the day, it's just kind of going downhill. Or they'll be I have to suffer through the whole day with no pleasures. And then at night, you weed, you're drinking, whatever. And he's the secret to adulthood
Is being a functioning drug addict. You just do it throughout the day, a little bit every day, just a little snort every few minutes. It's great.
100%. But I was wait, I need to make sure that I'm pacing my pleasures because I am just unhappy all day and I feel I have a chance now.
What are your pleasures? What's the list
I have
of pleasures?
none left.
But what? Okay, if you were to be if if $1 million fell right here, you wouldn't spend a penny of it. You wouldn't spend a penny of it. If it was someone else's money and you had to spend it, and it was just for, it couldn't be work related, couldn't be anything. Like what would, unless work related would be your pleasure. If it was like, all right, tomorrow from noon to.
The problem, it's just I would want to get high and eat chocolate.
Okay, so without the baby.
If this is a without the baby, I don't know. Will you tell me? You guys tell me.
$1 million and I had to spend it and I had to make a
on
decision.
Yourself. You don't have to spend all of it, but like you could just do anything you want.
And I
it's like
can't, the rules are you can't put it in your mutual funds, you can't invest,
but what if
you have
that
to
would be
spend
fun? What if investing it would be fun?
No, none of that.
I think you enjoy a little suffering. You would like a little suffering while the money just sits. And you're like, one day, that's really not pacing your pleasure. Your pleasure's for like the day after you die. You're like, the day after I die, I'm gonna have the most beautiful funeral.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't. You wouldn't. People would just be sitting Shiva.
No, it's going to be a very low-key funeral. Because my dad always talks about how like the funeral homes, they upsell you.
Always.
And you're in your most vulnerable place. He's like, I buried my mom in a cherry wood casket. I should dig it up and
I
like
love you
sell it for
talking this
parts.
as you're dressed like Wednesday Addams.
Wait, but this is so
The chic
true.
Wednesday Addams.
I'll tell you that I was laughing with my mom yesterday because I was like, hey, remember when we brought Papa's ashes back home in like a Vaughn's plastic bag? And she was like, that wasn't a Vaughn's plastic bag. I paid $900.
It was a Trader Joe's tote, okay? Do you know how expensive they are?
She was like, we paid $900. I was like, for what? It was like a burlap sack.
They get you.
And they get you because you are in a moment of grief and you're like, are you sure you don't want to take this for your loved one? And there is that cherry wood right there. And it's like,
your last
that's
chance
$3,500. Or you could be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll pay $900 for that Vaughn's plastic bag. You're so skewed in the head and that
You'll
time
do
of mourning.
anything to like commemorate this person you're missing. I also just started watching 6 Feet Under, which is all about funeral
Such
homes.
a great show.
Oh, it's such a good
You guys
show.
have seen it?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, Esther.
Are you kidding? It's like my gay awakening.
Esther, oh my God.
You guys, it's so good. Why didn't you tell me?
Don't you love
How is it so good? It's so weird and
Did
random.
we talk about this guy? The guy
Eric Balfour?
Yes.
Yeah,
was that
he was
Who is that? Is he the hot one?
He's the really tall, dark-haired one.
who dates the sister, the ginger girl.
Oh, I don't think I've met him yet.
No, you're not there.
No,
yet.
maybe you're not there
Okay.
yet.
If you
Yeah.
just
You,
started.
you
That's
guys
so fun that
watch,
you have. That's exciting.
You guys watching premium cable content from 2001 is like that takes place in LA. It reminds me almost of the L Word. Like early 2000s LA based premium cable shows are just hitting me in all the right areas. They're so comforting and make me sad about how this
that
guy.
TV's not a thing anymore.
This know that LA sucks. Now it's too hot here.
Well, you know what's actually fun to even watch is like LA Story. If you go to like 80s, like early 90s, Steve Martin. I don't remember what year they came out, but it's like old school LA. It's really fun.
Wait, what would you guys spend the money on?
Okay, so the rules are cannot invest, can't do anything like smart and adult. Like it has to be a big splurge.
This is such an Annie question.
I would get a boat. I would get a boat, and that would be like I would feel so f***ing good.
You only
about
get it for one day though, bitch. I'd feel so
That's
sad.
it?
Yeah, it'd be sad to watch it go. It really would.
Wait, hold on a second. I don't get
But
to
would
keep.
you rent like a great yacht or something?
Yeah, I would blow it all on a really.
I
nice
had a
boat.
crazy, I want to come back to this because I haven't answered yet, but I had a crazy thought the other day about you, Khalyla. I was like, I've never asked her one question about diving. She just goes 40 feet underwater.
I don't want to. It's like I
And
pretend.
we should just bring it up and we're like, anyway,
Because I
like she just has a
pretend.
weird, there's a life that she has that's so weird. Like I want to know what's like a day in the life of Khalyla diving.
A day in the life is I wake up maybe at 5:30 in the morning. Let's say I am not here. I'm in a warmer place.
Yeah.
And I pack all my dive gear, my wetsuit, my fins, my mask, my dive knife, my spear guns.
Do you use the knife?
Yeah, because when I shoot the fish and it's still I have
See,
to
I didn't want to know about this.
Yeah, you spear it.
Like it's
I
so
spear it with a spear
crazy.
gun. I take the fish and I brain it. I have to kill it because when a fish is in distress, it's
I
actually
need you to be sit in the discomfort because I have to hear every
Who
detail.
are you really?
it's a dinner bell for sharks.
She's like
and
Laura Croft.
it's very normal and very common. 9 out of my 10 dives, like I will encounter like a shark, and they're usually just cruising. They like mind their own business, but they will always
Usually.
come.
What if they're not in the usual mood?
I've never, other than like one time, really come across like a shark that was not even going for me. It was going after the fish that I had.
Khalyla, I think their point is that one time is enough.
No, but it's
I love it. I'm like, this sounds right up my alley.
Yeah.
No, but it's so weird because I think that like leading up to the point where I actually was swimming with sharks, I was afraid. And then you're in the ocean and then you actually see them and you're like, oh, it's fine.
Yes.
But why is it fine? Why are we?
Because they really are just cruising for the most part. Like, not to say that like shark stuff doesn't happen. It really does. And you have to be careful when you have like a bloody fish on you and you smell like fish. But for the most part, like I would say like that's not my biggest fear going into the water. There's so many other things that could kill me when I spearfish, like getting tangled up in my own line or like drowning or like shallow water blackouts. There's so many other dangerous things that could happen versus like a shark.
Are you worried about the bends?
The bends happens more with scuba diving, but because I free dive and I'm going on my own breath, it's like hardly that could ever happen. And plus, I'm not diving like these free divers who go like 200 feet below. Like,
Did you ever watch the story about the girl that got murdered?
I did. Wait, not
I
the
got
murdered
worried about
one.
you. I was like, oh my God, someone's going to kill her while she's down there.
No.
Wait, so the fifth scariest thing is a shark, you're saying, when you, or like
Yeah.
it's lower.
I would say
That's
like any
crazy.
spear fisherman, it's like you swim with them so much and they're always there that they're just not like a thing that you get spooked about in the
Does
water.
your heart race if you see a shark?
Not really anymore. If I were to see like that they were posturing in a
You have to
certain
punch
way.
it, right? Isn't that the move?
No, I have a spear gun in front of me, so
Oh.
unless they're
Yeah,
coming
she's-
behind me, you can poke them a little
So
bit.
you could hurt it with your tools.
Yeah, but I've never hurt a shark that way. I've poked a shark like coming towards
So
me.
if I'm swimming in the ocean,
We can't imagine this.
I
This is
know.
actually already an impossible
it's a.
scenario.
I'm telling a story.
The shark could save you. The shark could actually save you. It could
I'm-
lift you up to the top because you're drowning. If you're in the ocean, it's not a good sign.
Let's just say I'm swimming, and I see.
You're not pregnant. We're keeping your baby out of this story.
Yes, I can be regular me, and I see a fin. I see the thing,
yeah, a
the
fin is not.
triangle sticking out of the water, and so you're saying like just chill. It's not going to come try to hurt me.
You know,
like I've seen it in every movie.
You're describing a fear of mine, which is not having a mask on and swimming in an ocean where I cannot see what's under me. That's like a legitimate fear of mine. When I have a mask on and I'm fully suited up and I have a gun in my hand, no, like that doesn't seem as scary. But if I'm just floating around and don't know what's underneath me, like I'm spooked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a normal feeling.
I'm having another tangent thought. I want to go back to that and then go back to the other thing. But you saying like not wearing the things, it being blurry, not being able to see what it is. I'm having a flashback to one of my favorite movies, Adventures in Babysitting. Did you see that movie?
I never saw
Okay,
it.
there's this scene where there's a girl at this girl's friend. She's trying to get back to Elizabeth Shue, the main character. She's like trapped at the bus station or something. And she can't find her glasses. Her glasses are gone, and she thinks there's like a dog or a cat. And she goes to like she's like, oh, and it's like a big rat. And I think about that a lot. It's a big scene from my life. And then when I was on vacation, I didn't go with my nieces and nephews they went to an arcade, and my baby niece, you know, you win like stuffed animals and stuff. So there was what she thought was a stuffed animal on the ground. And yes. Operation Don't Let This Become a Core Memory is like, we've all been trying. But so she went to she was like, what's this? And she picked it up and she was like, there was blood on it. And it was just like a dead rat, like big giant rat.
What did you guys do?
Well, I wasn't there, but her mom was like, put it down. And then it was like the rest of the time was like, ha, isn't that so funny that we all just had to like, that's the funniest thing. Ha ha ha, Claire. Isn't that so funny to just try to put it in her head as like a funny memory so she doesn't realize that what she did was think she was touching a sweet, safe, beautiful stuffed animal. And instead it was a dead, poison, probably
This
rotting.
is why laughing at sad, horrible times is
the only option.
yes.
I mean, that's
the only
one. That's
option.
one of the reasons why that one scene in Dumb and Dumber where the blind kid, is petting the dead bird, is one of the funniest things like ever, right?
Because they
It's
don't
not
know the innocence of it.
He has the innocence, and like the bird's head was like stapled back or taped back on or something like
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's up, but it is.
Okay.
It's sad and funny.
okay, rat. Just while we're on
Yeah,
rat.
It's gonna be one of those. I'm on Adderall today and it's not. It's doing the opposite.
When I was like doing a summer in New York in college to like do a dance program, and we were living in student housing, I one night like heard this like rattling of like around my food, and I had this like case of Odwalla bars, and I woke up the next morning and like all of them were opened and eaten, and I was so upset. And then I slept.
Did you accuse someone that did it?
No, because
in
it
the
was just
room?
me in the room. Because I had an issue with my roommate. I had to be relocated.
They kept munching on your snacks. They were like, your underwear was all chewed up. You're like, what the hell are you doing?
It is the time where I was turning underwear inside out over and over again.
Is this
For
that's
us to think that was gonna not make us stinky girls walking around in the world.
wait, you used to have side A, side B?
When when you're in New York for the summer and you're 21 or whatever and you're 19, yeah, you don't know how
Laundry
to
in
do
New York
stuff.
is hard. Laundry in New York is a whole
Can't
thing.
wash underwear at 19.
Okay, so my whole life I was like shamed for one time doing a side A, side B.
And who did you tell that?
And I was like 8 years old when I did this.
Your sister?
And my mom was like mortified, like as if I was like the dirtiest thing ever. But honestly, it makes sense for some days of the month where you don't have like a whole lot of
Yeah.
like discharge and stuff. I think side A, side B is very environmental.
I don't really have those days. I don't want to be like crusty pussy girl, but there's always discharge.
Interesting. I never wanted to approach this topic with you guys, but since we're here,
Are you no discharge?
typically right now,
You're snailing.
in
You're
the third
trailing. You're snailing
trimester
and
of
trailing.
pregnancy, you're changing your underwear a few times a day.
Let's call it, can we call it a slug trail when we talk
Yeah.
about it on this podcast?
Yeah, of
instead a
course.
snail
Or
trail?
maybe it's more like a slush now.
It's like a gloop.
Gloop.
There's a thing about pregnancy and birth that's a
You're
term, and it
heterophobic.
just
You are.
I
Julien.
think about it a lot. It makes me very uncomfortable. I think I need to say it to get it out.
What?
Oh God.
The term mucus plug is
I
it's just an
know.
upsetting.
There's certain things that I tune out, and that is absolutely it's Khalyla spearfishing and the word mucus plug.
And we'll probably get to a couple more today. But
Wait,
I also feel like, do you remember on Live Throwing Copper when they said her placenta falls to the floor?
No, on
And
what?
On Live's album, Throwing Copper.
Yes, it
Lightning
goes-
crashes.
yeah. Her placenta falls to the floor.
The is that guy
But
talking
isn't it
about?
crazy
I
to
love
like,
that song.
but it's so crazy to just throw the word placenta in. It's just
Annie, what
putting
was
us
that
into a
song
different world.
about?
It's like about abortions, and it's like, okay, will you pop the lyrics real quick of
Honestly, the
what's
thought
it
of a
called?
placenta also makes me
Throwing
yucky.
Copper live lightning crashes.
Okay, so the lyrics go like this: lightning crashes, a new mother cries, her placenta falls to the
Right,
floor.
third line
This
is
is-
their placenta.
The angel opens her eyes. The
Okay.
confusion sets in before the doctor can even close the door.
Lightning
An old
crashes,
mother-
an old mother
Jeez.
dies. It's the cycle of life.
What is
The
this
90s was a lot about the
What is this
cycle of
about?
life.
Is it just like-
it's life and death? Look, an old mother dies.
Oh, I see.
Her intentions
mother
fall to the floor.
cries.
The angel closes her eyes, so then she's dying. Okay, now the confusion that was hers belongs to the baby down the hall. So now the old lady's going into the young baby.
No, and this is the mother of the child that was just born who dies.
This is an old mother.
great
This is an old
story.
mother. No,
Thanks.
this is an old mother.
No, I don't think so. I think Annie's right. This is another. It's a circle of life. But maybe we should call him and have him explain what kind of dark.
What's the guy's name? The live singer? Who knows?
It was a
The bald,
bald guy,
yeah.
yeah. But speaking of placenta falling on the floor, when I was present for my best friend's birth, her placenta, like it wasn't like a slow birthing of it. It shot out, and honestly, like there was a thud on the ground.
Her
and,
placenta
Thud?
slapped into the wall.
and we were all like, like we all like stepped back. But she shot out her placenta. It was incredible.
Ugh, like you would think that when you get far along in pregnancy that you suddenly become comfortable with these ideas, and you just don't. You just don't get
I
comfortable.
think what happens from what I've heard is basically it's a traumatic event, obviously, very loving with a very wonderful ending. And then you kind of black it out a little.
Yeah, no one.
So you have
everyone,
another-
the high of it. I also was thinking, oh, it's like a bikini wax. Like it hurts so much, and then afterwards you're like, yeah, like you're a little high.
Yeah, it's like a bikini wax. actually. It's just like a bikini
I know.
wax.
I haven't. Next week is my appointment where we go over like how what's the birth.
The plan.
Yeah, like is she going to recommend a C-section? Is she not? Like, so
Do you have like a loose idea in your mind, or are you just going to be open to all
Don't
options?
say loose.
I just
rude.
want my ideal would be if she just had like if she could just look at everything and be like, I strongly recommend this, so that the decision making is really not up to me, because the amount of strong feelings that are so different out there that it's like political. it is crazy out there. Like the people who are extremely pro being induced, extremely anti being induced, pro C-section, anti, like you say the wrong thing and you're out forever.
It's like our culture now. It's so annoying.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the
Everyone's
whole.
got a business.
It's
their business in it.
everything.
Are you
Or
gonna
like
share?
the moms who are very like pro home birth and pro,
Yeah.
like anti
That's even
meds,
crazier.
anti epidural, and it's like, hey, dude, like you can decide that for your body, but like maybe not just like
It's just
you know
there's no
be so
like
evangelical about it and like force other women to like or make other women feel bad if that's not their decision.
I think like if you're like a scientist or something and this is your research and stuff like that's cool to like put out what you've learned or what
Yeah.
you think is like best or whatever. But it's just weird when it's like people are just like having their own experience, giving their
And they're so
it's so weird.
preachy or like it has to be
know.
this way. I will say though, shout out to Michelle Wolf. She did this whole piece on the Daily Show that's on YouTube about how she gave a home birth, which I am not interested in at all. But respect, I loved all the research she presented. And like, there's a lot of shadiness with hospitals and birth. I get it. That's still the route I'm taking. But it was like, oh, she's presenting a well-researched like other side of things. And I think if people are interested, like it's worth watching. But
The idea of you not having a doctor present is so psychotic.
It's just not-
for you.
no.
It's not for you.
I'm
It would
going to
never-
be
yeah, of
covered
course.
in nurses. Nurses will be touching every part of my
You're
body.
gonna pay extra for more extra nurses.
I don't want any skin showing. I want all nurses covering me. What would you spend $1 million on, you whack job? I need to know this.
I would spend it on
I feel like you'd be at a shooting range.
if
Like,
I
it'd
give it
just
away,
be
definitely a shooting range. Spend it all on guns.
your own shooting
Semi-automatic
range.
guns. No, I would definitely do like a private jet somewhere, but a short flight. I'd do a short flight to maybe like an island, maybe rent a yacht.
You fly
I
to
would do,
Catalina
like-
Island. It takes 30 seconds.
It would be a very fast one.
So you would fly private on your millionaire day.
I'd fly somewhere short, private. It's basically how much can I damage the earth in one. I would want to go see something special. I've really been craving to go to Antarctica. So maybe I would fly private to another flight and then fly to Antarctica.
that sounds really, really fun.
I want to do something like that's
you know-
crazy.
Kara's our friend Kara, the yoga teacher, her mom is on her way to Antarctica, like right now.
I like these women. This is so my sister-in-law's mom is like this, where they just like her and her sisters will just go on trips and they just go to crazy places. And I think when you have like worked really hard and you retire and you have this like leftover money, you're like, I want to experience the world. And my sister-in-law's dad had passed away. So she's just kind of this like lady that has some money and she's just like spending the last of her money like going on these trips with her sisters. And I think it's cool. So I think I would pay for like weird experiences.
You know what I've always wanted to do? A huge bucket list, and I wonder if I ever will do it. I've always wanted to fly to Paris, like arrive around noon, go to lunch, go to the French pharmacy, load up on skincare, and then literally just go back home. Like I want to do like 3 hours in Paris.
I've been watching a morning show
Okay.
and she goes to fly to like see Steve Carell. You know, morning show with Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, I don't watch it,
So
but
she like Steve Carell gets like canceled. He's like the Matt Lauer of the show.
okay.
And then she was his co-host. So she like goes to like she needs to talk to him. He's like gone off to like Italy or something. And she flies there just to like see him for a second. And then COVID happens and she's like having all this trouble leaving. She like can't get a flight and stuff.
But I think that people do that, like really rich guys, like
Just
set
fly
up
into,
dates
like,
like
shop.
that, where you're like, hey, let's go to Paris for 12
I like that answer.
hours.
That's good.
just to like treat a 12-hour international flight like it's just nothing to you. There's something about that. There's power to that.
You're right, because it's nothing if you have a lie flat
if you can lie
bed.
flat.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you
that
can lie
is
flat.
such a game changer.
Yeah.
And having a full comforter. And
Yeah.
it's like it's no different
Eye
than
mask.
You can
just
get some
pass out.
Wi-Fi even. You can really just get your day done. I don't know.
Something
Are
though.
you guys saying you're in or what?
I'm down. Do they fly to Europe in private jets?
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Are there
It's
sugar
like, I would
daddies
be
for
so miserable
for
first
pregnant
year.
women?
I don't know, but when you find any, let me know.
I
Dave
know a lot
has-
of people, by the way, Esther, who are like men, my guy friends, who are like, Esther's the hottest person in the world, like
It's
right
a real
now.
thing. the
Pregnancy
glow.
kink is
Right now?
real.
With the pregnancy, yeah.
That's so weird. I really think men, there's two camps. It's either like they're disgusted by it or it just does it for them.
Well, I think the Madonna horror guys think it's gross, and then regular guys are like, it's hot. She's like here. She's like a woman
Why?
doing what she's supposed to
Didn't we
do.
talk about
I
like,
think it's just
breastfeeding?
biological, maybe. I don't know. But it's just something about
I
it.
don't get
like
that 'cause
she's
it's
like,
like,
she's so sexy.
My womb is full. Like you have no use for me biologically.
Yeah, but you're
they're
a great cum
imagining-
receptacle.
They imagine jizzing in you. It's a tough
It's
it's
a
a tough
jizz, like,
one.
there's,
It's a
like,
tough one to take for a shy girl like you. Your shoes could be for your daughter.
Honestly,
Your
Esther,
shoes could literally be for your child. This is what I would get you for your baby shower, by the way. This is a child. This is a baby toddler shoes.
The fact that Khalyla just equated pregnancy to being a cum receptacle, I'm
And
not
I tried
moved
to
on.
save you. I tried to save you. I tried to save you.
but there is an extra component or an extra layer about you, which is like you look like a teenager.
You let someone bust in. You're a teenager that let someone
In
bust
good
in.
lighting, for sure. In bad lighting, it's a whole different story. I'm not perfect.
No, but
guys.
you know what your worst case scenario is?
I'm
You look
listening.
a few years younger than you are. You don't look like a small child. You have two options. You either look like a very tiny, small, young child, or you look a little younger than your actual age.
Well, I stand by mentally having a teen pregnancy, physically geriatric, and I am the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, I think.
But I think that's the kind of pregnancy you guys would have.
I think the second kid, you're not as much of a teen, but you got to be a teen. The first time's got to be insane. for
You're
people.
implying that I'm gonna have a second kid.
No, I'm
you
just saying,
evil
you,
bitch.
the royal you.
You
I have
rude bitch.
Listen, I think the cum receptacle shuts. I think there's going to be a sewing up of where the cum can go, and I don't think that's a thing. But
We have a few. Are these fan questions? This one's a really good one. So this girl writes, my boyfriend, or it could be a guy, my boyfriend won't come surfing with me because I'm better than him and it's emasculating. Red flag.
yes,
I have a differing opinion here.
What?
wouldn't-
I'm stumped.
you'd have the ick for him being worse than you.
I will never set myself up to get the ick. So I'm not going to invite him to something I know he's going to like possibly
Yeah.
fail in.
Yeah.
Just
It's like if
because
they did an open micer.
Oh, yes, it's the same. So basically it's like this, like
Ugh, why would you even say that sentence? You're making me sick.
it's like swimming, say for instance. For me, because I spend a lot of my time in the water, if a guy doesn't know how to swim, if I see he's helpless, it's immediately like an ick for me, right?
Yeah.
Now, if he was
It's
a guy,
so funny that you look at him as helpless. Like, is he drowning?
yeah, to me, it's like you can't.
That's so
survive.
sad. It's true. Like, I totally know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like, if you like took a guy out and he like almost drowned, and you'd be like, have to break up with him after his.
I
life
would
was just
absolutely
saved.
have to.
I
I'd be like, hey,
know.
let's be
You'd
friends.
be like, this is your last kiss. Is the CPR? It's the last time you ever stick your tongue in because it's the last one. I know what you mean though. It's like, oh.
But on top of that, even like furthermore, if it was a guy who knew how to swim, but thought that he was good, and then I see him in the water, and
Oh, that's
there
bad.
is he's still struggling a little bit. Like it would be an ick. So no, like I think it's.
Do you need them to be able to do like flip turns, like Olympic flip turns?
I need them to have just a good I need them to be able to not even do laps, but to float comfortably.
Right. If the shark's coming for you.
Yeah. In fact, I just like guys who know how to swim really well. That's always been my thing. Like I've never been in a relationship with a guy who isn't like a great swimmer.
Right.
I think that makes sense. Like swimming is such a huge part of your life. Can Bobby
Yeah.
swim?
Really well.
Really?
Oh my god! And
That
he's
body
also
It
the
does
type?
make
most.
sense. It does make sense. I don't know why.
Not
No,
for
Bobby's
me,
a
it's
great
not
swimmer,
adding
and he
up.
swam with
He's like a
sharks with me.
turtle, like flipped over.
Oh my god.
He
It's like
really
if
is.
the front was that.
And
side.
he did the shark dives with me. He's done 2 shark dives. He's done one in South Africa with the great whites, and he did one with me with
Okay.
a couple like sandbars.
I
and
want to ask
Galapagos.
more. I'm down if you ever want to invite me. But Esther can film. She'll be holding the
From
camera.
the shore.
She'll have Dave doing paparazzi pics of us.
Yeah.
So, okay, I want to go back to the day in the life. So you wake up like 5:30.
Yeah.
You get all your stuff.
Mhm.
Is the boat rented or is it one of your friends'
No,
boats?
most of the time, like it's a luxury to. That's why I'm saying I would get a boat. It's a luxury to have a boat and to take a boat out and go hunting in the middle of the ocean where there isn't like the shore break. But for the most part, I dive off the shore. So I
A cliff?
find a beach. No. I find a beach. I swim out and I find a fish pile and I dive maybe five.
Fish pile?
What's a fish pile?
A
You
fish
just see a
pile
bunch
is
of
just
fish.
you start to see you start to learn like fish behavior, fish movement, where the good fish are, and you sort of a fish pile is just where you see like a bunch of different fish.
I'm just triggered because that's what
They call you.
they called me when I was lost my virginity.
And and then I'm out there for 5-6 hours if it's like a good day. And I'm diving. I'm just shooting fish, putting it on my line.
And you're with other people. You can't
I'm
go
always with a
alone.
dive buddy. Yeah.
Right. And then so you just put them on a line and you can just you just bring them along with you. You drag them along.
Yeah, and then we go back to shore. And then when you get back to shore, you scale the fish, and then you gut the fish, and then you take it home. You put it in a look at Esther's eyes just going.
It's just you're so lucky that you have a hobby and that it takes up like the whole day. Like that's not common, I think.
Yeah.
But I think
You have a passion and it's physically active and it's like it's within nature. Like this is the key. That's the whole secret to a
But
happy
you guys
life.
realize when I got good at this, right? Like I was
No.
always just dabbling before, but when Bobby and I broke up, like I had nowhere to go. I was so terrified of existing on land. I was pelted by like so much just like internet like vitriol. Like I was really in a
would you
bad
say
place.
you were getting shot with a spear?
I was getting
Maybe you were
spearfished
getting
on land.
spearfished?
Yeah, I was getting speared on land, and like the water was the only place where like I was able to sort of like feel safe and feel held, and I couldn't hear the noise, and that's where I kind of like retreated to, right? And so like so much of what I'm able to do now really only happened in the last like 2.5 years because like as corny as it sounds, like I had nowhere else to go.
That is so cool and inspiring. And I feel like that's always the case. It's like you go through something so horrible and then that's the time where your brain is like, I have to like
Yeah.
obsess, have
Breakups
passion.
are literally number one.
It makes you live in the moment. I did that with snowboarding, and I've been going on solo trips like after a hard breakup, and it's been awesome. Like it makes you really live in the moment and be like, comments don't matter.
And hone a skill.
Yeah.
And like it's such a relief to fixate on something that is so worlds apart from the stuff that's hurting you. And you're like, oh, no one can hurt me here. Like any one of these internet trolls, I would drown. I would absolutely murder in these waters. You know what I mean? Like there is like a feeling of like, I'm so safe here, even with sharks, even with the threat of being tangled up in a line and like doing it all wrong and drowning. But I just felt like, oh, like this like place, this like water has my back.
You had nowhere else to turn.
Yeah, and it felt really good. And it's so meditative because you're dropping to the bottom of the ocean on one breath. And it's like you have to be very present.
Would you guys consider long walks having owned a skill or no? Just be honest.
I think so.
I think when walking seems so difficult for the person, when it seems like walking isn't really their thing, where it's more of like
When
this
they've had
weird
to build
waddle.
up.
The fact that you honestly walk less pregnant now is the weird thing.
Because I've heard that waddle is like, it only exacerbates the pain. So you have to like force yourself not to do the Esther waddle.
Though I mean, it's a swaddle waddle.
I've had pregnancy pain my whole life. I've had a loose SI
The
joint.
idea that you wouldn't go to a hospital when you're actually supposed to be there is so funny. Like it's a dream for you.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's not a dream because it's.
But Dave keeps saying that. He's like, you love nurses. You love the hospital. You love the way they take care of you. And it's true. I love nurses.
Are you listening to things when you walk, or is it total silence?
No, especially while pregnant. No, I'm not. And because
That's
I'm
cool.
trying, because there's so much time in the day where you're just a little bit uncomfortable. I'm trying to separate all my pleasures. So it's like I don't eat a meal while I watch TV anymore. At least for right now. You know, I gotta spread it out.
Very
So-
Japanese of you too. Okinawan,
you.
I think, right?
So when I walk, I don't listen to something, you know, I'm spreading it out, which is a little, I know that's like a little sad because listening to something while walking and eating while watching TV, those are the best moments of life.
But are you thinking a lot though when you're walking, or are you trying to be like meditative and have a clear mind?
A lot of the times I'm like hamstring butt, because I'm trying to activate those things so that my
That's
back
good.
won't hurt.
That's good
It
then. You're having
helps.
like a meditative walk.
Hamstring
So you're
butt.
accidentally.
Hamstring butt.
Well, that's good because it's like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe
yeah.
out.
Wait, can you explain hamstring butt?
Because if I don't, actively work on making sure those butt muscles are activating, it just will weirdly sink into my back and my lower back will do the work. It has something to do with having a loose SI joint, I think.
Oh no, she had someone give her.
Is that your sacroiliac?
Yeah. And like my whole thing now is I am carrying all this extra weight. You're gonna like get in bad postures and you're gonna hurt yourself. So I keep thinking to myself, more is coming, more weight is coming. Like I need to build up these legs to hold this up. And that's like been my whole thing the last couple months.
Annie and I just like attach like little stilts, like you know what I mean when you break a toe and you
No, I'm not ready to go back to that. That was actually more than this.
It was.
That was a lot more than this.
Broken pinky toe was harder than
I know
pregnancy.
it is bad. It's just so funny. Like I know breaking a toe is really painful, but it's so funny that was your pinky
I didn't
toe.
know that.
For you to have the littlest injury is so funny.
That's all it took.
I broke this finger catching like a shitty football pass. And I didn't know it was broken for months. And I kept telling myself, I was like, oh, it's just a sprain. It's just a sprain. So every day I would take this broken finger and I would yank it like this and stretch it out because I thought it needed like the blood flow and I would shake it. By the time I got an x-ray, my doctor was like, oh, like you have like 67,000 fragments bone everywhere. So I needed to get surgery on this hand and like a fucking pin put for like a long time. But that's how stupid I am. So I'm glad you took your toe injury seriously because I did not do it with this hand and I caused myself a lot more damage by trying to like, you know.
That is so crazy.
It's so stupid. Yeah, and it hurt so bad when I did it. It's not like I was like not feeling the pain, but I was just like, it's just a sprain because I was in denial.
Have you ever like dislocated a shoulder and put it back in?
Never dislocated, but
Have you? That seems like
I don't think I would not do it myself. I would be afraid I was doing the wrong thing.
I don't believe that that's
do it.
real when I see that. Like that is wild that you can literally dislocate something and then have it shoved. That was in the movie The Holdovers. The kid had that and it's just like that can't be, right?
I think it's because it happens a lot to people who have dislocating shoulders, so they're used to the whole.
They've seen someone do it, or some people are just like, show must go on. Do you know what I mean? Those people, they're just like, you're kind of like that.
Not really though. Now I'm really learning to not just what do you call it? Like toughen up.
This is an Asian appropriating Hispanic culture.
Oh yeah, this is instead of banana break today, I have brought my own just coconut and mango with lime, chamoy, and tahini.
Yum.
Is that from one of the street vendors?
Without
Yeah,
the spice.
I had that at my wedding and it was a huge hit.
DraftKings Casino is bringing you only the best classics like blackjack, roulette, and slots, plus exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Annie, talk to me.
Oh, the amount of time I've saved having to go to Vegas. It's to have Vegas in bed while watching TV, sitting next to Randy and Todd. It's a dream. Todd bringing me pho.
What do you play?
I play slots, baby. I play slots.
Oh, that's right. You're a slots girly.
I'm slots. Todd plays poker. I'm slots.
I'm a blackjack girl all day.
Blackjack for me, it's too quick. My money's gone.
I will say the great thing about DraftKings too is that if you're not ready to play with real money, like Annie, you can do what I do, which is, practice on all the different games that they have on there and, get to know the games before you put down the big bucks.
Download the DraftKings Casino app now and use code Trash Tuesday. New players get an instant deposit match up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more. That's code Trash Tuesday only on DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net in Connecticut. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility and other restrictions apply. One per new customer must opt in and make minimum $5 deposit within 7 days. 168 hours of registering. New account max. Match $100 in casino credits, which require one-time playthrough with 7 days, 168 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/new player offer 2024.
I wanted to talk about, so this jacket was given to me by a friend that I friend dumped. Okay. So it's been sitting in my closet for 2 years. And today I was like, I think we're past the statute of limitations. I just didn't want to wear it because it was like the vibes of the friendship were still on it. But now I thought it's time. What are your guys' take on like if someone, and it could be like a boyfriend breakup or a friend breakup. I feel like if it's a boyfriend, I would not have as much a problem if there wasn't any emotional attachment to it. But because it was a friend breakup, that to me is like, that's a little ickier than a romantic breakup.
I think some friend breakups hurt way
Yeah.
more and for longer.
Because you can't blame it. It's not like there was like you can't be like the sexual chemistry was off. There was more
Right.
testosterone on the side or whatever.
And when you go through any kind of breakup, you know you're going to be over it once you're on the new relationship.
Right.
But with a friend breakup, you don't get that.
Yeah. And I think usually when I like do a friend breakup, when I've initiated them, it hasn't been because I'm like, oh, I need another friend to fill that space. It's just like, this actually is like not helping my life and it's actually like triggering me, making me feel not good and move forward. So it's not like I'm like, let's get rid of this one to replace it. But in a romantic relationship, you are always, even when you're trying to stay single, you are still like,
You know that there's going to
available.
be,
Exactly.
that's a specific role that gets filled.
Right.
Whereas friendship, that is a lot harder to get over.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any friend item. I don't think I've ever gotten a gift from a friend. So that's not a...
I did recently, I still occasionally wear like a piece of jewelry that was given by a guy who I saw for a couple months. And like, this is going to sound terrible, but like when I look at it, I really just see how beautiful it is. Like I don't think of
That's good.
him at all. And I'm sure the purpose of the jewelry was so that I could think of him, but I don't. I just see how like, I'm like, this is such a cool thing.
Yeah.
And it was a birthday gift. And I'm like, I'm going to wear this forever.
Are you having any type of feelings about wearing the
Yeah,
jacket?
when you put it on, were you like,
You know what I was
oh.
thinking? I was like, you know, if she sees me wearing it, what's her feeling going to be? But then I'm like, if she's still following me and watching my stuff, which I think she might be, that's like kind of on her.
It's also none of your business.
Yeah.
It's only like, how do you feel?
Yeah.
And if you...
But I think I would just, I just felt like the reason I wasn't wearing it wasn't because I had bad vibes about her. It just felt like, it almost felt rude because I was the one that initiated it. It almost felt like rude to wear it.
Yeah, but I think that it's okay for to have long-lasting friendships and to have seasonal friendships. It's like everyone is sort of like going in and out of different parts of their life.
Well,
and
healthy, yeah. When you're healthy, I think it's...
Yeah, and there are people that I never had a bad ending with, but I just, you know, things just phased out. Like we're no longer friends, and that's fine.
For sure.
I know. I had to like aggressive. It was like a hard, like I had to...
Oh, you had to clean break.
It was like over, like it was not... You know, sometimes it's like get the hint ends and then the not get the hint ends and working.
Wait, have you guys heard of this extremely discounted clothing chain that only sells in stores and not online called Primark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have?
I have.
Primark,
I lived in London and it was like the biggest thing.
It's at my brother's mall. We always go to Primark.
Wait, can you tell me?
Okay, so I had never heard of this, but then I got onto like Forbes YouTube where they make all these really like, they like break down businesses. There's one like that was like, why Sweetgreen still isn't profitable. It's the best video I've ever watched. But then there's like the business of Primark. And I'm like, I've never heard of this. So I watched this whole video and they're from, I think, Ireland, and they're in select locations, but their whole thing is like, you can only buy in stores. So that differentiates them. And it's like really affordable. It's
Like-
almost like,
And it's cute.
Like 2-pound shoes. Not even kidding.
And it's cute stuff.
it's dirt cheap, and it is almost like if you could buy like Shein, but you could actually go in store. And so I'm like, I was like drooling, thirsting over this place, because the whole problem with like fast fashion, amongst many, many things, is that like if you order it, you'll get like one piece that's really great and you're like, I could have this forever, and then 10 other pieces that are literally trash.
And then 2 weeks later, it falls apart completely.
And they're just disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hit or miss. So I'm like, oh, if you could only get it in store. So anyway, so I started Googling Primark. I found one. I went over winter break because they have one in the suburbs of Chicago, I think Woodfield Mall. This sweater, the Primark Rita Ora collection.
I was right.
What?
I said you were Wednesday Addams.
That Jenny Ortega?
Oh, that's Jenny Ortega. My bad. I was like, I got it.
Julien.
Oh,
You know that.
so close. Thank you. You get it.
But you
Thank
guys, $10 for a sweater.
So
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Like, how my mind is blown.
Are you feeling like because your clothes are, I mean, even though you wear oversized clothes anyway, do you feel like you're going to wear the clothes that you're wearing now when you're not pregnant?
That is such a good question. I have no idea. And I feel very like I built up this whole closet and then I got pregnant and everything is irrelevant. And then I have to build up a whole pregnancy closet, which is like not that big of a closet, and then afterwards it's going to be a whole new thing. Like I just feel like
maybe you'll be like piecing the different ones together. Cause you were on an oversized, of course your oversized were extra small on me, but you were oversized.
I do love an
before.
Oversized situation.
Oversized is in though, isn't it? Like everything kind of a little bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I hope I go.
I think you're going to be really.
Oh, who knows?
Who knows? Maybe you'll be making up for all the food you didn't eat.
For some reason, I really identify as the skinniest pregnant woman to be born. And then I see myself on camera and I'm like, it's nice that I have that confidence.
No, you still look skinny. You still look skinny. This is the same thing as the age. It's like you just look a little heavier than you were before when you were the skinniest.
I think angles are really important.
You were very, very like not bad then. You were at a very fit weight.
This is the other. Okay,
before you got pregnant.
I know it's like a lot of body talk, whatever. But when I got pregnant, I was like, my body was banging before. Then I look at pictures and I'm like, my body was just fine. Like you always think.
Well, it's like when you're now like doing this thing that's in nature for another thing. It's like if you were that skinny and pregnant, like the baby would be in full distress. So it's like it wasn't like healthy for what you're going through now, you know?
But I'm like, I look back, I didn't even look good. I looked like weird. I don't know. I just think that.
You've never not looked good, Esther.
No, yeah, you looked great.
Like all versions of you. Like you're just.
Even with this white film on my lips, thank you.
You still look skinnier than New Girl, Esther.
How is like life treating you?
I was getting my nails done. I did Edmonton, the comic strip, which is like in a mall. Did you ever do that? It's like the best mall. It's like,
is that the one with the trap dolphins?
Yes, it's got it's not dolphins, but it's penguins. They may have had dolphins at one point. It's the best. You could do a meet and greet with a penguin. There's a full gym. There's nail salons. I got like the best
hotel
massage
is
of my
in
life.
the mall.
It's just the hotel
and
is
it's
themed. I got a truck room. It was crazy, you guys. It was so funny. The bed was the truck bed. It was like you climb up the truck and sleep on it.
I think those are meant for a different kind of.
They're for children.
Little boys. Okay.
Well, but there was no, of course. And then there's a ceiling mirror. So then I was like, oh shit, people are like in here. And then I looked to the right and then there was like kids' bunk beds. I'm like, ew, people are like fucking some of their kids. It's so nasty. But there's a big hot tub in the room. It's so fun.
Are you serious?
It's the best.
I've never been here.
It's the best. It's the best. They got me just a regular room with just a hot tub in it, and I was so pissed. I was like,
hot tub in the room?
Yes, they have like an igloo room. They have an ice.
Was that a mermaid room?
They have a mermaid room. They have a Polynesian room.
How far away is this?
It's Edmonton's only it's not that long of a flight, 4 hours. It's the best. It's so fun.
Wow.
And they have like a water park in there. They have roller coasters. They did tell me there used to be a roller coaster and that I'm going to post a clip of me talking to the audience about this, but someone got beheaded on it.
Excuse me?
And then they kept it going. And then look at the fucking pirate room. And then just because of cost, they ended up getting rid of it.
Well, I've always wanted to, and I still have never played the comedy club that's in the Mall of America.
It's the same thing. It's basically the same thing. It's the same owners, but it's the one in the Mall of America is basically the American version of this Canadian one. Yeah, it's the best.
Because I grew up going to Mall of America because my grandparents are in Minnesota. They live like 5 minutes from it.
And it's the best. It's like a full vacation.
It's so much fun. We used to be Camp Snoopy, then Viacom bought it over. Now it's like Nickelodeon Land or whatever. But here's why I love Mall of America. The rides are not that scary.
I know, it's annoying.
But it's like they're all manageable. That would be so fun. Oh my God. Could we do Trash Tuesday live at Mall of America?
I mean, it's literally the most fun. I was like, when I went to the Mall of America one, it was like right after COVID. It was my first weekend after COVID.
So you've done that comedy club?
Yeah. I'm a mall bitch. If you think there's a mall that I haven't performed in, you're crazy. If there's a club in a mall, I've been there.
And there's no sales tax on clothes in Minnesota. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, but I don't know how much I was buying then. But it was like, but I got like the Uzi pictures. Like I went to the.
God, I need you. Will you be my mall runner?
I'm a mall.
What's a mall runner?
Because I think I probably go to the mall. I'm not kidding. It's not an exaggeration. Once every 5 years.
Wow.
It gives me a panic attack.
I love
Well,
the mall.
what are you going for?
That's truly the
To-
most un-American thing you
I
could
know.
ever say.
I just can't deal with the crowd, the pressure of having to shop for like Christmas presents and stuff. Like I did recently go to the Glendale Galleria because I had to buy this one specific thing that this one specific family member wanted. So, and it was inside the mall. It wasn't outside at the Americana because the outdoor shops are fine.
It's beautiful, yeah.
But at the Glendale Galleria,
it's actually gorgeous.
by the way, where I used to work there, I used to work at the Abercrombie at the Glendale Galleria.
Well, I think when you work at the mall, you have a different, because I did work at Gap Kids too, but it's like, you can't go, shopping is so stressful if you need to get something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, just going to the mall and being like, all right, I'm going to be able to eat. I'm going to be able to
that's what I
shop,
need to
like
do.
wander around and.
So I think the key is to just go with no purpose, and maybe I can learn to enjoy, because I enjoyed it when I was young.
That's where I get my IVs is at the mall. So I go to the mall a lot. And then it's like, if I need something else, I'm trying not to shop as much, but I had to get Skims.
What's your favorite mall?
My favorite mall would be these malls because they're crazy. It's like, I just was thinking, I was like, is it worth it to fly my nieces across country and then into Canada for them to be here? Because it was just like going there with there's an ice skating rink. It's just like, there's so much shit. It's so fun.
I do like mall food. Like the food courts make me happy.
I love a Master Walk.
That's right, the Master Walks. I never had Master Walk, but they're always love a good Panda Sesh.
Just a food court.
Pound
And
for
there's
pound.
I'm sorry, but there's just no good food courts left.
When you were teenagers, that's true. When
There
you
is
were
one.
teenagers, did you hang out at the mall?
Our high school was across the street from the mall all the time. That was like
Yeah.
it. Yes. Old Orchard Mall, the first outdoor mall in the country, not to flex, referenced in Mean Girls. Yes. Huge deal. And our food court is gone.
There's a really good food court in a Korean Plaza Mall. over
Really?
here.
What
It
kind
is so good. It's mostly Korean food, but you have so many fun options, so many fun like dessert options. And it's just like really fun and pretty and kind of retro. I highly recommend. I'll give you the address.
I don't know if you guys have ever been to an outlet recently, but they have the best food courts. It's literally like it's from the 90s.
What makes them different?
It's just back in, it's like they haven't changed.
Like they have the Sbarros.
Cinnabon.
Orange
like
Juliet.
Orange Julius,
The
like
funniest
all
was when
like Cabazon outlets has a fantastic.
When my brother's friend worked
That
at
does
Sbarro, it was so funny. I was like, what is Mike Goldstein doing here? Like, why are you here right now? You're fucking embarrassing me.
Can we get a couple more of those questions?
Also, on Christmas Eve, we went to the movies at Northbrook Court Mall, which used to be like a great mall in the suburbs, but it has gone downhill in a major way. However, they still have an Aunt Anne's.
Is that a pretzel shop?
Yeah.
You have to
I
ask.
know she's being weird. Let's pretend we didn't hear
It's
that.
really weird. You're
Can we edit this part out?
sorry.
Was that Pick Me? What was that?
Oh, what was she doing? Who is she playing to right
I
now?
hated that. Okay, so
Who is she trying to impress?
we walk past the Aunt Anne's. We just had our big Christmas Eve wherever we went for dinner. Oh, we
Wait,
went to
can I just
Carson's.
defend myself? I only know Wetzel Pretzel.
Oh, that's fair. That's
okay.
more
That's
West
East
Coast.
Yeah.
Coast versus West Coast.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm
When my credit card got stolen, they immediately went to Wetzel Pretzel. I was like, that is so funny. I have never had
That's
someone steal my
sweet.
credit card and not go to places that I'm like,
But
Was it
okay,
a lot? Like, was it expensive?
you're a queen, you're a king or a queen.
you deserve it.
Do you even like dispute that charge then, or you just let him have that?
Well, they don't think it's, oh my God, you guys, my credit card got shut off and I had to call to get it turned back on because I tried to buy a book. They said it was suspicious.
That is so funny.
I was like, touche, bitches, touche.
But so I have not had an Aunt Anne's in forever, right? Because that's just like
It's too much. It's crazy.
that's
They're
a-
so good,
It's
though.
a spiral. It doesn't lead to the next decision being
It's
good.
you don't do one. You don't do one. If you go to Aunt Anne's, you're doing a run.
So we walk past, and I thought I heard her say something. The woman working there. I look at my family, and I look at them. I'm like, did she just say free pretzels? And they're like,
This is
what?
the saddest.
And
This is going where I think
We
it's
went
going.
back, and they're like, yeah, every day at 5 when we're closed, we give away all the pretzels for free.
I thought it was going to be that she did not say free pretzels. And you went to get a free pretzel.
No, so literally everyone in my family got a free pretzel, and we ate them like on top of our big dinner, and it was so disgusting but so delicious, and I couldn't control myself, and it was so good.
What
I got cinnamon sugar flavor.
I was gonna ask you.
Obviously, I got cinnamon sugar flavor.
But I'll take just the buttery ass ones. I like the little nuggets. I like the little bites.
I was regretting not asking for those.
I'll get a cheese. There's not really I used to love the onion ones. They had, I don't know if they still have them, but they had, what is the potato chip that's sour cream and onion? They had sour cream and onion flavor.
Y'all ever do the little mini hot dogs?
Oh, a little mini hot dog. I'll take a little dog. Todd loves a little dog in a blanket. But my nieces, I was FaceTiming them from the mall, and I was like, do you guys think about me when you go to Auntie Anne's? And they're like, no. And I was like, oh. My nieces, I do have to say, this is a full nightmare, and this is my niece's fault. I was pandering to an 11-year-old. I got one to match her.
Why is it a nightmare?
Oh yeah,
it's a nightmare. It spills all over my shit. It's like, there's no benefit to it. It's very heavy. It's annoying.
It is huge.
There's no,
Can I hold that?
I wanted to get like,
oh my God.
It's just, why does this exist?
I hate trends. I hate them. Why?
Wait.
I don't like it.
I think it's cool though.
Well,
it's just really big.
It's the worst.
It's really
bigger than your
heavy.
It's literally bigger than your child right
It's
now.
a workout.
What's the pros of that?
You look cool to an 11-year-old.
Oh, okay.
For me, my whole thing with it, because I would have been the first in line to buy it, but I'm like, it's not much. I have so many hydro flasks. I went through this. I have the hydro flasks.
Is it the straw?
No, there's nothing good.
Do you ever hold 18 things in your hand at once?
I do. That's why I had to get a bigger purse, because Todd's like, well, you and your things. And then we're always leaving, and I'm like, wait, stop here. And I have to run back up. I live up the stairs. So I have to run up the stairs and grab like 3 more things. He's like, I'm a thing bitch. But I'm trying to get rid of all my things. Like, I'm going through my house, and I'm like, I can't like live like this anymore. I have too many things. I'm just throwing out all my bullshit. I'm not worrying about how much I paid for it. It's over. It's done. I just am decluttering, because it's like, there's just too much stuff. There's too much stuff.
It feels so good to get rid of stuff.
It's just, why am I making my life so difficult for no reason? It's like, when I have like a big house, maybe I'll get more things, but it's like, I'm like putting it all into an apartment. And we have reptiles now. It's like, we got living things.
yeah.
Don't need all of the other ones.
Okay, so this question.
I mean, divorce. Guys, I'm reading ahead. Divorce.
No.
Annulment. Annul
No.
immediately.
My husband didn't tell me he had herpes
Oh, that
until
one.
until we got married. Thoughts on how I should feel?
Annulment. He lied to you. Not telling you something is the same as lying.
That's pretty
You should be able to
crazy.
tell the person you're marrying.
Also,
that sort of stuff.
the crazy part is that like so many people have this thing that's like, who gives a shit? I know like Gen Z people, they're super upfront and open about any of their STDs, herpes, whatever, and it's like just not a big deal,
It's
right?
crazy. You're
Like,
lying.
I had a friend who, I mean, they're married and they have like kids now, but they like the beginning stages of their relationship, she got herpes from him, but she was just like, worth it. I'm in love. I'm not gonna like.
Did he know he had herpes?
He actually didn't. He just sincerely didn't. He's like, I've never really had like an outbreak. But she was like, there's no other person I could have gotten it from. So then they
Right.
both got tested, and he was like, oh shit. And he was like, but she didn't give a f. So I think that this guy like has it wrong, the husband, because I think that if we love you, like we're fine. There's Valtrex. There's so many other like.
I mean, I can understand the shame and being like afraid, but that's so crazy to not tell you before, because this is like second marriage type of guy. This is like crazy.
yeah, it's also
Why
just
would
really.
you keep that from
How
someone?
do you get
deceitful.
away with that? Also, like that's what I don't understand about herpes. Is it something
People
that
don't
lies
have outbreaks
dormant?
all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it can.
But
lie
you can be
dormant.
shedding. It's like really, you can really get it when there's absolutely no symptoms and stuff. And that's what's kind of sucks the most about it, I think, where it's not like, that's where like, but Valtrex is really works really well.
We're also
right?
assuming this is like genital herpes and not something like, oh, I have a cold sore. Because for the most part, like most obvious cold sores are herpes, right? So it's like if it was that, maybe I would be like, oh yeah, like that's not
Yeah, if
something
you have
anyone should
shingles, if I
It's
got
like,
shingles when I was 20, I don't think you need to announce that, but I did. And
but if it was
coming
very like strategic on his end to wait until after they were married because he thought like that, I feel like is super deceitful, and I would be so bummed.
I just don't even know how you pull that off.
because people don't.
You can. It's very easy to pull off. It's very, very easy because it's like if you have your outbreaks like under control, like the first sign of even feeling some nerve pain here or some nerve pain in your genitalia, you can take a Valtrex and
Valtrex works.
you almost will not get
But then
any.
why didn't
Valtrex is
she-
what they give to reality show people, like dating show contestants.
Yeah.
so that there's no outbreaks on set.
Right. I mean, but it's so common. It's so a nothing thing. Like acyclovir, Valtrex, that's at your disposal. So it's like, especially like years after your initial outbreak, you're not having as many outbreaks.
So this guy,
I'm so sorry, Julien. You having that in your back pocket to tell us is so funny.
My producer friend told me. It's very
Oh
interesting.
my God.
I am really confused by herpes too. I don't understand how it works. Like
I'll give you the breakdown after.
Okay.
After this.
Yeah, I know a lot about herpes.
so if someone is on Valtrex, they can't pass it on.
It's a lot harder too.
So it sounds like herpes is actually not this crazy serious thing that I feel like we all thought it was when we
It
were
just
younger.
sucks so bad. My friends have had outbreaks and it's like, it's just so fucking
They're
painful.
painful.
It's like it's like in a place where you have to like move and
They're open. They can be open sores.
it's like open sores. Like it's
Yeah.
like,
But if you can take Valtrex and you never get it.
but when you first get it and you don't know you have it, you have like, and
Yeah.
your first outbreak's usually the worst.
Yeah, your first outbreak and your
And you get like a fever, you get like sick.
yeah, your lymph nodes are like inflamed, and then but like especially if it's like I think like herpes 1 is not as like I was told like not as like outbreak heavy as like herpes 2.
Right.
I think I don't know.
But
Not a
my
doctor,
friend had
but-
herpes. My friend had herpes and she wouldn't tell guys, and it was really pissed me off because I thought and this was like, I don't think she was on Valtrex yet. It was just like, it just was so dirty. So she would like be flirting with my friends and I'd be like, just heads up, this is what you're getting into. And then it was always this thing of like, was I being shitty? But I'm like, no.
It's just not a deal breaker for me. If someone were to be honest and upfront about it and say, hey, I have this thing.
Yeah, and there's
like,
ways around it and stuff.
I'd be like,
it's just
okay, cool.
I have a girlfriend who has it, and she specifically, like, before hooking up, always would be like,
Right.
I have this.
Which is annoying. It's annoying you have to do it. It sucks.
That does suck.
And it
But-
also, like, the herpes test is very separate from a regular STD panel. So, like, unless you specifically ask, because it's a blood test, right?
Mm-hmm.
So someone could be like, oh, look, STD, like, I'm free. I have no chlamydia, no gonorrhea, HIV negative, whatever, syphilis negative. But the herpes is not part of that, STD panel. So you have to order it separately. So what I do with partners that I'm, gonna sleep with is I will ask for both. So I will get like, hey, get an STD panel, but also can you get checked for this? And I do ask them for the extra thing.
I can't believe you have to ask for herpes. That should really be on the main menu.
The menu.
Wow.
But
Is there any STD that like you don't need to like you shouldn't you don't it's not necessary to tell the partner?
Yeah,
about?
HPV. Because like 8 out of 10 people have it, and also men cannot test for HPV. Like there's no
Unless
test
they
on-
get warts.
Yeah,
right?
unless they get like warts or some type of like.
Guys, when I got crabs, I learned so much about. I used to call the STD hotline and like hang out on the phone with them because I was like didn't know there was one, and I learned so much about STDs. They would send me stuff in the mail. I would have all these like pamphlets and stuff. I learned so much, and then when my friend got herpes, I was so like, I can have compassion for the fact that it sucks that she was in this position where shit. But I was like, it just was so. I felt so dirty. I felt so torn as like a human morally. It was just like, are you serious? We lived in Santa Fe. It's such a small town. I'm like, you're just like. It's a small pool, bitch.
So
Come
she
on.
would hook up and not tell.
She would them without condoms.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if she felt like she wanted to date them, she'd be like, I just got tested. We have herpes.
I feel like we need to destigmatize it a little bit.
It was like,
Weird.
bitch.
That's fucked up.
Someone did
I
that
would
to
be
my
so
brother,
mad.
though.
Yeah.
He's going to get but they like hooked up with him. And then he called me. He's like, oh my God, I hooked up with this girl. And she was like, it's not the sister-in-law that watches the show. So don't worry. And she told my brother, a day later she got tested and she had herpes, which is like, there's no way like the day later you got tested, you
One
know?
time I had this rash, these dots on my stomach, and I went to it was really weird. Like and that was when I went to the doctor for everything. Like I was before I started Lexapro, and it just kind of let things go. But like the doctor was like,
Lexapro and let it go.
the dermatologist was like, oh, this could be secondary syphilis. And I was like, what?
People love to think things are syphilis. This is a thing.
And I would Google, I'm like, I have a second round of syphilis that I missed
is.
first round. It was not that.
That's so funny to me that they went straight there
People
because like
love to say things are syphilis.
but the rash is later more it's like syphilis. It's actually a sign. You're right, not secondary, but but it's later on in the progression of the disease.
So it's like you missed the whole first tier and didn't cure it, and then you get the new, like the next step.
I get rashes all the time. That's so crazy.
Yeah, no one's ever thinking, oh shit, this is syphilis.
I know.
But syphilis is back on the rise.
People love syphilis.
Why?
They love to diagnose you with something like
Why are you
syphilis.
saying
I always
that?
wondered why people were named Phyllis. Like, how long has syphilis been around? Forever, right?
That's so funny. That's a good nickname, Sif, for someone named
Sif.
Phyllis. Come here, Sif. We used to call Max Pad, my brother, Maxi Pad. So I had, when I first started dating Todd, every time we would I would start bleeding. And people were like, it's gonorrhea, it's syphilis. Like, everyone was like, it's this every time. And of course, Todd's like, that's right. Like, boys are like blowing that up. But it was like, oh my God. I was like, Jesus, I don't know why this happened.
What was it?
It was just a yeast infection.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a yeast
But
infection.
that's the thing.
One
like-
that
But doctors, like everyone's like, oh, you better come in. Like my friends were like, why? Everyone I would talk to was like, this is something big. This is a horrible thing. I'm like, what?
I mean, I got HPV when I found out I had HPV when I was 19. And I thought it was the end of my life.
You thought it
Like
was
I
HIV?
reacted like it was the worst thing to have ever happened to me. I remember crying because like
Yeah.
at that time, like no one
You're
really told
so
you
like young and sexually active too. You're
Yeah.
like so like excited to meet people and stuff. And then you have like, they tell you that you have something.
I know, and then it just so happened to be the strain that was a little bit like sus. So they had to like freeze my cervix and it had to like slough off for like a month. But
everyone I know
Yeah,
has
I
had
know.
Literally,
that.
the thing where they take like some kind of heat thing, and
Yeah.
that's what I had to do. I literally had a meltdown, Khalyla, when that happened. I was like, I have cancer, like it's over.
Same.
Like, and I was
Wait,
like,
what do
this
you
is
mean?
so
Isn't it like, is it
embarrassing.
if it's
Because-
untreated or it's just one
yeah, because
strain?
HPV, they used to say like if you have a very specific, there's like 2 specific types
The
of
high
like
risk strain.
yeah, the high risk, right? That could later progress into like cancer or whatever. So that's why I got my stuff like frozen. But I remember thinking HPV, that was like the first STD. And I was devastated.
She's the opposite of a fire crotch.
But it's like a chill
frozen
one because you can just get it out, right?
No, I mean, you don't even need to do anything for most things if
Most
it's not
times
like
it'll
high
just
risk.
go,
Yeah, but I guess it fell under some high risk group, but
Also, I think back in the day, they were like, it's different. Like they've had longer.
They have vaccines
HPV
now,
coverage.
but
Yeah.
they really do go. They went in and like zapped. Like it's the most painful experience. I don't know if it was for you.
yeah, it was terrible. I remember
It was
going
awful.
to, we can bleep his name out, but I have to say his name because it is a kind of a funny name. His name is Dr. And Dr. said that this would not be painful. You're gonna not feel anything. And I'm telling you, I was close to passing out
Same.
from the pain.
I was like almost
And
crying.
I couldn't believe that, like, how dare this man who doesn't have this body part of mine tell me that lie to me and tell me something's not gonna hurt, and then pry me open, hurt me in the way that he did, and said, okay, we're done, you can walk away. I was dizzy, lightheaded, felt like I wanted to vomit from the pain.
Did he numb it or anything or?
Even if he might have, but I don't remember anything but like utter pain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so my
it's so
numbing
annoying.
thing didn't work, and it was the most painful. I was screaming in pain.
But it pisses me off how like women's pains are like so dismissed, and it's like
and
no,
they
no.
have the tools
I
to make
know.
it
It's
not
easy.
hurt.
I know.
They have it all. They've
It's
got
so
it all back
annoying.
there. The Vicodin, the fentanyl. Get it out.
When I was 12,
party.
12 and 13, I had really, really bad headaches. I just had like basically a headache every day. It was
Yeah.
so bad. And we went to this headache specialist in Philadelphia, which was like so cool. I was like, oh, it's in my town where this like the top headache specialist. And we went and he had this needle that was like this big. And he was like, oh, I'm just gonna put it in the back of your head to like see what's going around. Like it won't hurt. And
out
my
your
mom was
throat.
with me. It was, he stabbed me in the back of the neck. Okay. He was moving around. I was like, you have so much scar tissue. It was like crunching. You hear that, Mom? I'm screaming and crying. It was
Oh
like the
my
most painful
God.
thing. My mom was like so pissed. My mom was like, we're never going back to this person.
Why did you have scar tissue in your
From a
neck?
car accident.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I was in a car accident when I was 12. That's why I stopped swimming.
It's also shocking they don't talk about the IUD. Like the
I
Oh,
won't.
placement. IUD placement is one of the most painful
Painful
things.
And isn't it painful
ever.
for a while afterwards? Like, isn't
Yeah,
it like
it-
painful for like a.
Yeah, and I remember the woman was like, well, just try having a baby. Sorry, Esther. But I was like, This
that's
is not right. No
acceptable.
one talks about it. I almost passed out from pain.
Well, your story and every other girl's IUD story is like identical. And it's so crazy to me how like
they don't talk about it.
No, it's like women's pain is so just dismissed and not heard. It's a whole
when
thing.
I had my miscarriage 2 years ago and I had to get a DNC, like the day before, the doctor asked me to come in so she could put something in called a luminaria, which I was like, what? It's like some weird like sponge that I guess they put in there and like preps the cervix, like loosens it up, whatever. That was horrible. And the way that they were so casual about it, just come on in. I'm like, you didn't tell me. I would have, I should have been on something. Like it was so, yes, it's quick, but it's like, you don't want to be.
It's also such like a rough time too. It's like you're going to just add.
And then they say like, you're okay.
Not like prepare you.
Yeah. Although I did have one of the best doctors at Planned Parenthood when I terminated a pregnancy, like the sweetest man ever. I thought that the drugs were available and I did not take them because I had to drive myself home. And so I was like, oh, I don't want to be kind of like sedated driving home. And so I was like, I'm going to opt out of the drugs. And he was like, ooh, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Like, and he goes, well, it's really only a minute. He was very specific. It's going to be a minute and a half of this specific type of pain. He really explained it really well. And he counted me down.
You had a DNC without drugs or being.
Yeah.
What?
Just like, do not recommend it. And then I told the girl who was like next to me before I went in, she was like, do you think I should take I was like, no need. I mean, it's such a short procedure. And I felt so bad because I saw her getting like wheeled out sad, after and she was like in shock. I'm like,
when
oh my God.
When you give people the wrong advice,
I gave her the wrong advice. Like, take the medication.
Because that's like a full procedure where I was put under for that.
Yeah, but it's really only a minute, right? And I was awake for the whole thing. And he counted me down. He was so sweet. He goes, this is what you're going to feel right now. And it was so specific. So I was able to like prepare my senses for it. And I was like, this man is the sweetest. This is how doctors should be. It's like, he's like, you're supposed to take the drugs. But if you don't, this is the kind of pain he wasn't lying. It sucked
just
and it hurt. Oh my God, never again. Don't get abortions raw.
My egg doctor, wear a condom.
Raw dog.
Wear your sponge.
Yeah, don't raw dog your abortions, guys. It really, really hurts.
And maybe don't raw dog and you might not need them. So I think the lesson is no more raw dogging.
Let's take it a step further. Yeah.
No more raw dogging unless you're doing
Annie is all about the prophylaxis and
Guys,
the preventative medicine.
Prophylaxis.
Do we know if vasectomies hurt?
You know, we'll never know because men are like always being like doted on and given all the right drugs. So we'll never know.
These little babies.
But you know what?
Julian's like, what about the men?
Julian, we need you. We might need to hear more about the reality show Valtrex. He was so excited to tell us that. It was just so cute. You've just been waiting.
He has little notes like that he likes to share.
But you know what? To that I say bring back raw vasectomies. Let's try it out.
I want nothing raw ever again in life. Not even sushi. Like, I'm so traumatized by the word raw right now. The fact that you had a raw abortion is like absolutely the most psychotic thing I've ever learned about a person.
And shout out Planned Parenthood. They do great things.
PP baby.
It's like if I had to drive myself home and be like, okay, I'm sleeping over tonight at Planned Parenthood. That's fine. I'm getting the drugs.
By the way, my sister was at home making my abortion porridge and she was like, please let me drive you back home. And I was like, I'll be fine.
Do you think you were feeling like guilty that you had to do it or something? You were like punishing yourself?
Maybe. Or maybe I was just in a state of like, I just got to get this done.
Yeah, just like don't even think about it.
And Bobby was asleep.
Oh, this was Bobby times,
yeah. And also it wasn't my sister's job to be there for me. Like she has a regular job. She had things and Bobby was not there, could not be there.
We need to soften you up. You're too tough.
I'm not anymore.
She said that earlier. Right? It's funny because you just said that earlier in the episode. You were saying you're going to stop being like, I'm the tough person.
Oh, yeah. I'm not tough. Like everything hurts me.
Let's soften her.
Yeah. Well, it's just the faking that things don't hurt. I have that too. It's like, we're just like, oh, I'm so
hardy.
Like,
yeah, I'm not
Isn't
hardy.
it more brave to be like vulnerable and tell the truth?
Yeah,
like,
it's brave to be weak.
I said vulnerable, not weak.
It's brave to be scared.
But just like, it's just, but I do like being scared. I do like it.
Oh yeah, you're like if a roller coaster doesn't have the potential to like kill someone or behead someone, like you're not interested.
I was excited when they said the beheading. I got a little excited. I was like, that would have been not great to see, but not a memory.
not a memory.
All right, guys. What a fun week.
I know. There's a lot of feelings in today's episode. I'm feeling so many things.
We got through STDs. We've tackled STDs.
A lot of vaginal talk.
Vaginal talk.
We needed it. We were due.
We were due. Don't say due.
You're right.
Mucus plug. We're never saying that again.
Don't say that 3 times.
Snot cork.
We will see you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week with a brand new episode. And don't forget to get tickets to our Live Trash Tuesday in Los Angeles Regent Theater, February 13th. Have Galentine's Day with us. It's going to be crazy. We'll see you there and see you next week.